Hello everyone, my name is Professor Bellwether and I will be your host today. Today we are uncovering animal exploitation and its effects. We will have different speakers covering areas such as health, environment, evolution and human empathy. Let us get right at it and start with a conversation between Dr. Harem Skarum, an animal products enthusiast, and Dr. O'Grass, a vegan doctor. Because there are so many misleading facts about what is considered to be a good diet and what is considered to be a bad diet. Let's see if these two can make it any clearer at all. Exactly! And a vegan diet is just not sufficient. You just don't get enough protein. Like, where do you get your protein from? Meat? That's the most protein of all food, and beans just simply cannot compare with its protein content. Protein, guys! Maybe just don't eat the beans, right? Well, yes, this is a side dish to your main dish of grass. Oh, grass, you lawnmower! It's just me, actually. I'm a descendant of grass. They raised me. I could not be more thankful. Totally mad, those vegans, I tell you. Anyway, I don't think it's right of you to generalise and say that every vegan eats grass. My friend, for example, eats weeds. What about calcium then? Calcium, where do you get your calcium from? Like in cow's milk. Friend, you are not to worry about what kind of nutrients we get from the food we eat. We worry about that ourselves enough, but at least we go to the doctor to check our blood levels. What about you? Are you sure you get enough antioxidants or omega-3? Do you eat fish, for example? No, as a matter of fact, I don't eat fish. And I was just saying, maybe you should stop worrying about what other people eat and maybe channel that worry and make sure you yourself are getting enough nutrients. Woo! Interesting. Wow, yes. Interesting. It's an excellent example of two people learning to talk to each other and respecting each other's opinions. Right, okay, let's go right to Professor Sweeney, who will do a little hard fact uncovering of the environmental consequences of livestock and their byproducts. Yes, hello, my name is Professor Sweeney. It has it so that most people are not aware of the environmental consequences of livestock and the byproducts, but do not fear. Here I am to unveil it in front of your eyes. Imagine how many people there are on this earth. 7 billion, yes, exactly, 7 billion people, and only approximately 5% of them, and then of course, less are vegan. 5% are vegetarians and then less are vegan. Now, how many animals do you then need to slaughter to feed this population? Quite a lot, especially considering the one chicken you had at Nando's the other day. That is actually, in fact, one whole chicken, isn't it? One whole life right on your plate. Now, to look more into details, because you need a lot of water for these animals, and you need water for the food, and you need food for the animals, and there's lots of, it goes like that. Right, so one hamburger actually requires 2,498 litres of water, yes. And then, furthermore, 1.5 acre of land produces 37,000 pounds plant-based food compared to 375 pounds meat. Imagine all that land that can be used to feed the population of this earth instead of going through animals first. And the littlest known fact of them all, 51% of global greenhouse gas emissions comes from livestock and their byproducts. Yes, it is in fact not transport that is the problem. No, transport is only accountable for 13% of global greenhouse gas emission. Now, does this not make sense to you? You need to think about all the water as mentioned, all the food as mentioned, and obviously the transport that is required for the meat industry to survive. So do you really want that hamburger? Or do you want to see your child grow up in a world where the world has swallowed Denmark? Yes, no Legoland, or touring of Hamlet's castle for them. That is such a shame, isn't it? Well, global warming is not man-made. There's nothing we can do about it. We're on the way to new ice age. It's all natural. Oh, hello there, Professor Boyle. So you are part of the 3% of the world's scientists who believe global warming is not man-made. Believe what you want, but is it not better to be precautionary than not? It does not hurt to not contaminate the world with methane gas and CO2. Interesting again. Wow. I think that was a very interesting fact that we should all just, get our brains around. Right, let us get to the next speaker. It is Professor Evolution, who will talk about evolution and, humans' race to evolution. Evolutionary speaking, we have to use animals' fur because of the environment, because, coldness and winter and snow. So, berries and the grass, they don't like to be under the snow because the snow is cold. But now we are past that, and we don't need to put animals in tiny cages where they have a little toy to play with. Isn't that great, though? They have a little ball because you want a little fluffball on top of your beanie. No, it does not make sense, because we have become cleverer. We can create fabrics that are just as warm. Look at this. And it's not like that little fluff ball is keeping you warm either, is it? We don't need to put tallow in our 5-pound notes either. Hello. And in the same way, we don't need to eat animals because we have so many other options. Evolutionary speaking, we're on top of the ladder. We've come this far. We've surpassed every animal. We deserve to eat them and use them as we please. Mr. Delamere, are we superior to animals? Do we not inhabit this earth together? If it wasn't for them contributing to the ecosystem, we wouldn't be able to live on this planet. Well, they're stupider than us. They don't think and they don't feel like us. Mr. Delamere, is your doggy not happy to see you when you come home? Is it not excited when you throw it a stick? Does it not squeak if you step on its tail? Yeah, no, I guess. It does, yes, it does. Then how can you say animals doesn't experience anxiety, fear, and pain like us? That totally makes sense. It really does. I guess I'm a vegan now. Ooh, that was powerful, wasn't it? That was myself. Okay, alright, I'm in a moment now. Okay, let's just go to Professor Ducky. She will talk about some empathy and human ethics and all of that. Yes, hello everyone. How are you? Good. Okay, so my name is Professor Ducky, and I'll be talking about something that Professor Evolution is building upon. It is our ability to be empathetic to other animals on this masterful earth. And hand in hand goes ethical choices. Now, is it empathetic to exploit other animals for our own personal gain? No, is the simple answer. Is it ethical? By no means. They do not exist for us, is the simple reason why. But how come some animals get special treatment? Dogs and pigs are treated very different in the westernized world, but they are considered to be just as smart. Well, there's pets, and then there's animals that are raised for food, and a dog is a pet in the westernized world. Yes, hello, Miss Rabbit. Yes, it is a cultural concern in terms of how we view animals, but that comes back to who chooses that? Who chooses that some animals get special treatment? Why do we eat pigs, but we cuddle dogs? I don't know, it's just tradition, I guess. It's something we've grown up with. But that comes back to what Professor Evolution was talking about. Is it right because it's tradition? For the sole reason that we've done it in the past, does that commend us to keep doing it? We are now so informed that we don't need animal products to survive anymore. The only nutrients we cannot get sufficiently from a plant-based diet is vitamin B12. But that one we can get from pills, or we can get it from injections, or we can get it already in supplemented foods such as cereal. I know, it's easy to think that way. I mean, I think as long as you know what's in your food and as long as you know how it's made, I mean, this should be common sense to know this. But I mean, I still choose to eat it, and it makes me feel some kind of bad, but I'm just so used to it. I understand, and I agree, it is really important for people to be aware of the situation of how the food is made and what is in it, and then choose what to do with it. If you're fine with the information you've gathered, then I suppose you maybe can go on eating. But if you're not, then I suppose stopping, or at least reducing, is the only sensible way. And I understand it is easy to think that way. It is both to do with tradition, as you say, and simplicity. But for veganism to be more simple, we need more people to affect the market demand, so veganism can be more all over the place. But I suppose urging people is the first thing to ask for. Oh, wow, yes. I think what Professor Ducky was just talking about being educated about the system and being educated about what's in your food and how it is made, but both the ethical side and the environmental side, especially the environmental side, like now I'm a bit, didn't know these things. But it's really important. Now, this has been a true joy to present to you. I really hope you have learned something. I definitely have learned something. I used to think I love animals, but now I don't know, I eat them. But okay, now, thank you very much. It's been really good. Okay, take care, and take care of your animal friends as well, all right? Thank you very much.